Hello guys, it's me, Jonathan Seekins again for RD Podcasts. This week we are in Hungary to review the Hungarian Grand Prix. And this video is very kindly made by our own Paul Glover. Hello Paul.
Hello.
And we're also joined by F1 star Eric Robin.
Hello, pleasure to be here guys.
Nice to have you too. So Paul, obviously you've made this, so I haven't seen it, so this should be quite interesting for me because I'm normally the one who makes it and knows what happens.
Yeah.
Did you have fun making it?
I did. Yeah. It was nice because I do watch everyone else's videos, but when you're looking for bits and pieces to take for the show, for the podcast, even you take a different angle. I think you look at it differently because you're looking for highlights and things to discuss. So. Yeah, it was good. It was very. I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah. So we'll go on straight into F1 qualifying. So Eric, do you want to read us through the results?
Yep, it's Greek Don't Lie taking pole position with a really quick time, 1:18.9, just ahead of Arrow Dan 27. So yeah, the usual suspects on the front row with Indrexen lining up in third, Moss in fourth place. Then 27's Massa in 5th, and then comes Woody, the Holy Sam, myself in P8. I was really disappointed with that qualifying result, and especially with my time, because I think I did a 1:19.6 or something in practice, so I was couldn't really get the lap together when it mattered. And then So Solid behind me, and Tedger in P10, then Kex and Gun and Gamble in P12. I think we had 15 people on the start, so there are 3 people behind Gun and Gamble as well. But I'm not sure if we have the screen.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't think of that.
That's okay, but so everybody knows that we had 15 people, not 12, for the start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what stands out to me again, the same as last week, is that the top 12 were within a second and a half of each other.
Yeah, it's really close in F1 now, and especially with such a large grid, it's really nice to see some good attendance for these last few races, and it's just it's so close. It's really hard to predict. There are some people who just continue to get on top, on the front row and second row. And so they seem to have a little edge, but the differences are really small, especially in the race. It seems just really close.
Yep, so talking about the race, shall we move on to the race results?
Yep.
Paul?
Yep.
Take it away, sir.
Okay, so Aero Dan there, nice pole, finished first. And the Sauber team doing very well there. Is Greek seems quite a consistent driver, is he, Eric? Is he normally up there?
Yeah, he is the championship leader, so he's really consistent and also really quick, and he just managed to beat Dan in Hockenheim, but here Dan was just better on strategy. I think Greek was in the lead on the final lap here in this race, but on the final lap he got a puncture because he was trying one stop less than most people did.
Okay, and excuse me, and Moss there. I mean, he started 4th, so he's gained one position to be on the podium, and then Dan 27 Massa started 5th, again gained a place. Eric, you started 8th and finished 5th. You happy with that result?
Yeah, well, I'm reasonably happy with that. I mean, I gained 3 places. I had an awesome start, and we are going to take a look at that in a bit. But it was just a bit unfortunate because I had a penalty. So actually, I finished in 4th place. I fight my way up past Dan 27's Massa for the final 20 laps. It was a big gap that I had to close, and I managed to do it. So it was a bit disappointing that because of a penalty I got, I was demoted to 5th place. But
we'll see how that penalty develops very shortly. And Andrew Wood there, Mr. Woody, started 6th, finished 6th. That's a consistent finish. Beza 695 started 12th, finished 7th. That's quite a nice gain. Red Tabur again 13 to 18 to 8th even, and then Tadja 15th and 9th, and then the final point go to Indrickson. But I believe he pulled over on the last lap. Didn't actually finish that, but he still gets awarded 10th position. And then Kex and Sam again did not finish the race. I don't really know. Sam doesn't normally quit races. I've not seen that before.
No, this was a disconnection actually.
Right.
So Sam didn't retire.
Oh, right.
He was actually having a pretty good race.
I have seen that. Yeah, no, I did forget that actually. Okay.
Yeah. No worries, but Sam was definitely disappointed with that disconnection. Of course, he was actually in a battle with me and some others for about 5th place, I think. So it was definitely a shame for Sam to disconnect here.
Yeah, just going back to the leaders. You say Greek don't like got a puncher on the last lap. It's funny because last season, Aero Dan, when he was leading quite a lot of the races, he got punches towards the end, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. And it seems that Greek is usually trying a different strategy than most of the grid. He's taking some risk, and it has paid off a few times. I believe at Catalunya he definitely got a good strategy going there and won that race by a considerable margin from Adam and me because of strategy, as well, and also space. But this time he didn't manage to take it home and complete that strategy. So it's a bit risky to go for one last stop here, especially in Hungary. It's the tires are coming off pretty quickly. Once you
it does
hit
punish the tyres, doesn't it? This track.
Yep.
But I think I quite like the primes here. I think the primes lasted quite nicely here. It's when you go into the options, I think the trouble tends to arise.
Yeah.
I found the primes for me were more consistent, a little bit quicker. I think on a consistency level anyway. Obviously not going to get the fastest lap time out of them, but I think I personally, I don't know about yourself, Eric, but I'm more consistent on the primes here.
I believe I was going for the option tires at the end of the race, and that made me actually help close to Dan 27's Massa in the end. And he was on the prime. So in that situation, I had a clear advantage. But I don't know, if there were any other factors into that. Maybe Dan 27's Massa was running in fuel conservation mode or something. He said that he had to save a lot of fuel, I think, because he underfueled the car, so that might also play a role. But I was definitely quicker than him on the options, while he was on the primes in the end of the race. I was going for option, prime, option, I think, this race with 3 stops.
Okay. Yeah, so shall we move on to see how the race panned out then?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So Eric, on board with you at the start.
Yeah, we are at the start, the lights are out, and when I qualified in P8 I just felt that I should have a good start here and make up some places, as I felt I had the pace to keep up with front guys. And here I just outbrake Woody for turn 1, so that was a good move actually. Woody was a bit careful on the brakes, but I took advantage of that, and you can see it's really close here with Dan 27's Massa on my left. I just tried to keep to the outside line, much like Alonso did, in real F1. He usually took the outside line where it's just a bit more grip to have the inside for the next corner here, and I just moved up to P5 here. So an awesome start really. You see Moss going a little bit wide there, almost taking advantage there, and move up to P4, but I just slot in behind him for now. And but yeah, a good start, and now we're on board with Bessa for his start. He started in P12, and it seems that Gonna Gamble was a bit stuck on the starting grid there, so that's already one place up.
Yeah.
Now he's going to try to go between these two cars, between Kex and his teammate, and he gets on the inside of So Solid, so a little bit of contact, but nothing major with Kex there. So he's already up 2 places. That's a good gain.
Relatively clean start here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a better start than we have seen most of the times in F1, especially in Hockenheim. The start was just dramatic for me, and this start was a lot better at front. But there is an incident between Nick and Woody, and that was a bit of a strange situation because it just seemed like Nick were just running into the back of the McLaren driver there. Maybe we get another view on it from Woody's screen here. He starts in P6 and he just is a bit careful on the brakes, as you can see, and so he loses a place to me and Sam as well, who goes around the outside of him, so he's already 2 places down. A bit of a poor start here for him, but he's just trying to be careful, I think, just trying to stay out of any incidents. And it's of course a bit ironic how he then falls victim to an incident at the chicane there, what is coming up soon. But Kex also gets around outside of him there at turn 4. And now the moment where the contact happened, you can just see, well, like he's just pushed off the track there and into the gravel and falling back to last place. Real unfortunate for Woody there, as he was just seemed to try to stay out of the incidents and then getting caught in one. But here on the start of Indrexen, he starts from P3. You can see Dan27 gets on the inside of Greek Don't Lie. He doesn't defend in turn 1 at all. So this is a pretty straightforward pass for Dan27 to take the lead, and Indrexen just cuts back on Greek Don't Lie. So a pretty poor start from Greek Don't Lie. We haven't seen that many poor starts from him. He usually has some really good starts, but I think he said that he overfueled his car a bit, so he felt a bit slow at the start. And obviously you can see Indrexen has -3 laps on fuel, so he obviously underfueled his car, and that pays off, especially at the beginning of the race, as his car is much lighter and much easier to keep up with Dan27 here. Now on board with Sam, Jonathan.
Yep, so I knew you were going to say that. So on to Sam, coming down into the first corner. You see you, Eric, coming straight past Woody, and then Sam round the outside, leaving plenty of space, and takes Woody around the outside. And now coming down into turn 2, 3 abreast almost, but keeping it clean, no contact. And yeah, it's pretty tame-ish start, I suppose.
Yeah, it's really great to see. I think this is a good example of what we are able to do in F1. There was a lot of critics about our starts, and that's not... I think it's justified. I mean, we had a lot of incidents, but this was a pretty good start, I think, here in Hungary.
Now onto a battle we've seen many times. Sam against Beza.
Yep, including some epic music.
Yeah,
so Paul, do you want to talk
Sam was challenging him for quite a few laps during the race. I know you saw I watched his highlights back, and it was really, I mean, I quite like this move from Sam here, because he sort of tries to go for the undercut. He can't quite get the traction, I don't think, to put it away. And you saw that at the start as well, I think, with Sam. He got a really good start, but then everyone just seemed to pull away from him. I don't quite know why that is, but so really, he was sort of looking. And then Eric and Moss and Indrexen, and this is an interesting battle, three-way battle that kind of develops into an instant later on, unfortunately, for Eric and for Indrexen. And Jonathan, I'd be quite interested to see your point of view on this. And I know we've talked about the invisible boxes, but Eric here gets the DRS on Moss. Pulls out, Moss goes to defend, and Eric, you notice the cars bounce around a lot on this track, which is quite interesting. And Indrexen goes wide up ahead, which lets Moss kind of get onto the back of him, and Eric just sort of watching from afar. You're probably waiting to see what's going to happen next, and see if you can, like I do, try to see what opportunity arises. And Moss gets a slipstream there, but gets past Indrexen. And manages to, and Indrexen just pulls straight behind him, Moscow's wide and they're side by side. It looks like they kind of didn't really touch. It was quite close, and then this happens.
Yeah.
And then Eric gets his way, and Eric gets a penalty. Now we're going to see this from Indrickson now. So Jonathan, take it away.
I think I've seen this clip from Hendrickson actually, but I'll talk you through it anyway. Yeah, so he's going around the first corner, runs wide, which puts the auto brake on, which is I think a stupid idea.
Yes, I agree.
Running down to T2, see the arrows. Oh wait, yes, sorry.
Yeah, so Moss is
see
right
going
behind
around T2, and then see Moss making a move, trying to make a move around the outside. He's getting put in front already. So nice clean pass there. And then Moss runs a bit wide, maybe a bit of a push, but not too much. Tiny bit of contact, nothing serious again. But then I think it's got a bit of the invisible box lag kind of.
Well, if you notice, as Eric goes past Indrickson,
he kind of started to turn, I think.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he got turned around a bit quicker.
Yeah, I mean you'll notice with on Eric's view he went straight past Indrickson, but on Indrickson they clipped, so it's proof that
that's happened before as well. I remember at China with Indrickson and Sam. Sam spun and Indrickson went straight into the front of Sam.
That was an easy pass for you, Eric, wasn't it?
Yeah, we actually, you can see, I was just having a pretty good battle with Sam. We looked pretty evenly matched at this stage, and it was almost halfway the race, and unfortunately Sam was trying a different strategy. I think he was going for option at the end. I was going for prime option, so he felt he had kind of maybe an advantage on that, and he would certainly be able to challenge me, I think, for the remainder of the race for the top 5, but then he disconnected some few laps later, so
you'll notice
now we are
this pod, there's
on board with Woody.
There's a lot more video footage from F1, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I think it's really nice to see different parts of the field. This is more towards the back, a battle for 9th place here, and Bessa just seems to get around of Woody there, as Woody just tries to be really careful. I think he just wants to avoid the incidents really, and I think Bessa's just a bit more aggressive at this stage, or just muscling his way through here, but Woody just gets on the grass there a wheel and clips the curb on a weird angle, and that just spins him almost into the wall, but now he spins around, he's just out of shape here.
Tires, putting his foot down,
but he gets back on it quickly enough though, doesn't he? And this is a little incident here where he pushes Beza.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a difficult situation. I think it was similar to what happened with Indrek and me. I think I got a good run on Indrek there, and when he went a bit wide, and I think Andrew did get a good run on Darren there when he went a bit wide to turn 1 there. So, but it looked like invisible boxes as well.
Yeah. So we're coming on to your battle with 1027 Massa. Massa's just avoiding the wall, and then you give him a bit of a bump after you get DRS, but nothing bad, just a little rub of the tyres.
Yeah, he went a bit wider, and I just got turn 1 there wrong, but it took me about 20 laps, I think, to close the gap of 10 seconds, so it was nice to get past him there and at least finish ahead of him in the race, and get to the finish line first, but then I was demoted after the penalty. Yeah,
but it looked like a pretty interesting race. Unfortunately, we didn't have any interviews, but we'll go straight into the championship standings. So, take it away, Eric.
Yeah, so it's Greek Don't Lie after 11 rounds leading the championship. He looks strong, and he should be able to win the championship if he keeps going like this, because Red Tabor and Bessa, his main competitors in 2nd and 3rd place, are showing poor results recently compared to the start of the season. We had some Americans joining in, and Dan 27 back, and it seems from, I think, Silverstone onwards, somewhere like that, Red Tabor and Bessa have not been on the podium. So it's for them to try and stay consistent and get some consistent results, and to keep in those positions. But I think guys like Adam and Indrickson are really making up ground. and they're they might be really close at the end of the season like this.
Do you reckon that's all going to change, do you, Eric?
Well, I think some people from the midfield like Adam, Indrek, also Dan, and myself are having better results than Red Tabor and Bessa at the moment. So it seems like we are catching up with them, and it's really close. It's only about 20 to 30 points difference. So a lot of races to come, and they really need to step up their game if they want to defend those positions. And Greek just looks really strong there and pulling away from the guys behind him.
Yeah, so also, no, it's not this race, okay, no. Right, so on to GP2.
Yep.
So, Paul, do you want to read us through quality results?
Yeah, I will. Okay, so Andrew Holmes doing a 1:24, which is quite a little bit quicker than Ollie Carr. I know they're both in the 1:20s, but that's 400ths of a second, which in F1 terms is a lot. Then Benalacy in third there, we were 1:29. And you can immediately see the times are, and as we compare F1 to GP2, the gap is a lot bigger already. And then LNC in fourth there in the McLaren. Then Jay in fifth in the Toro Rosso. Hamilton fan sixth with 1:21. And there's me. Now this is my best qualifying position ever in GP2. And it was the quickest time I'd managed ever as well in in a practice session and qualifying. So I was really pleased with that time. The quickest I'd done before then was, I think it was a 1:22.8. So I was really pleased.
Big improvement.
So yeah, really big improvement, and I don't quite know where that came from, to be honest. And then Senna Mix in eighth, only 100ths of a second slower than my time. And then we got Rob in ninth in the Toro Rosso, and then Jor in 10th, Thomas in 11th, and then Aaron in 12th. I don't really know what happened with Aaron there, but he didn't have a really good time during qualifying. I think he just couldn't put anything together. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So Ollie was only second. He was almost half a second off of Andrew.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Stake or Andrew was absolutely blinding around it.
Yeah,
or a bit of both, maybe.
It was very. Excuse me, but I mean, it's always been pretty close between them anyway during the races. I think they've had quite a lot of battles. So, you never know. It might have been a tactical choice from Ollie. Sometimes it's nice to not be the man at the front, to have everyone behind you. But it's nice to be able to attack someone at the straight. So who knows? Ollie might have let him have first. You just don't know, do you? So.
Yeah, not paying for the stats then.
Shall we have a look at the...
I play for stats. But yeah, go to the race results. Obviously I go for stats because I don't get much else. So, yeah, so... Eric, do you want to read through results?
Yeah, Andrew wins the Hungarian Grand Prix from pole position, so a really good performance by the Caterham driver, and then comes Ben moving ahead of Ollie in the race, so taking second there in front of Ollie, and Jay in fourth place, moving up one spot from LNC, that's Joe I believe. So they are trading places there in the race, and Patrick moving up from P15 start to P6, so it seems he had a good race. He gained 9 places, so that's nice. And then comes Jort, Zimantas, and Thomas Helmer in P9. Then you, Paul, in P10. So you managed to get 1 point, but you lost a few places in the race. We'll get to that later. And Rob Noxious in 11th, finishing the race, but not in the points. So that's a shame. Still, good to at least finish the race ahead of Ross there in P12.
Yeah, so Ben only half a second or 6/10 behind Andrew at the end. So I would assume we have footage of this, Paul.
We don't have as much footage for this that we do. There wasn't anywhere near as much, unfortunately. From as yeah. So
anyway, nice welcome back to Patrick. Powers up. Nice return for him. Nice 8 points.
My new teammate.
Last year, new teammate. Last year or last season even. Consistently up the top half of the field. So
yeah, do you know a little fun fact that Patrick actually won this race, the Hungarian Grand Prix in season 1?
Oh,
yeah.
So it's a good track for him.
Yeah,
he did quite well last year.
I remember that race. He was just really consistent, and a lot of the favorite for that race, I think it was Alex Pepper in that race, myself, and also Andrew Wood, and we all just seemed to be a bit in the incidents. But I remember he won this race in season 1, so he has a good record at this track.
Yeah, I was surprised that Aaron wasn't up there this time because he done really well last year, but
yeah.
That's last season, so we'll move on to the race footage. So on board the volley at the start, so the lights go out, off he goes. Decent start. Andrew with a bit of a better start, but Ollie using most of his curves to get past it, and late braking from Andrew and Ben. Andrew ran the outside and retains his first place. Nice, giving each other room around the second corner.
But now Ollie's got the inside, you see, and that's the advantage, isn't it? It's like Eric was saying.
And now he's into the lead again. Sure, he's going to be under a lot of pressure from now on, though. So coming round, and now it's you, Paul.
Yeah, I had quite a good start here. Got away quite well. Got into the drag of Hamilton Fan and Jay, and you know, it's hard to, like I was saying to Eric earlier on before we started this, it's a little bit of touch in there, which gave me, it's kind of, when people touch like that, it puts you off a little bit, doesn't it? Because you immediately don't want to get involved.
Spun around there.
Yeah, but there was a bit of contact there as well, so it lets me I avoid touching the back of Jay, but I've got a McLaren on my right there, so I boost a little bit of curves just to keep them behind me. And and then I go a little bit wide, and this is a corner that everyone tends to go wide on. Everyone's done it exactly the same, and I was quite pleased with myself at this point, but like I've said in previous podcasts, I need to stop making silly mistakes, so I'm trying to get onto the back of Jay. I'm thinking about the home straight. I've got a bit of curves in reserve, so I'm holding on to it. But again, I mean, like there, you know, like because he suddenly brakes for whatever reason, I let suddenly brake, and you sort of get rid of your momentum. And then I sort of touch too much curb and I spin, and so I was cursing a lot, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
And then I try and get on safely, so I stick to the right side of the track. Get a little bit of a kiss here from Jort, which is nothing too bad.
Consider a bit more of a hug than a kiss.
Well, yeah. Got dirt on my tyres, and I sort of hit the curves, but there's an instant up ahead. I hurt the curves button, and bang. So, and this is Senna. It's a little bit sped up. He uploaded it this way, so I've used it. But he had a first lap instant. He wasn't too happy about this. Jay coming up on the inside, I think. Killer Kyle even gave him a touch, and he got the penalty for that. But then he has a contact here with George, so what do you make of that?
Well, wasn't the penalty because Kyle tried to make a move up the inside and went off instead?
Yeah, but Senna got the penalty.
I think it's
How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bad
is it a bug, would you say?
I don't know if it's a bug, but the thing is just one of them stupid things when a car from behind hits you and goes off and it's apparently your fault.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. And Andrew, and as we said, Andrew and Ollie were close. Were close in quali, they have quite a momentous battle during this race, and leaving each other quite a bit of space too. And it's nice to it was enjoyable to watch. To be honest, it's some good battles.
You see Hamilton fan. I assume that's Ben Lacey behind as well.
Yeah,
Hamilton fan, good return for him. So he hasn't raced recently, so nice to see him up there. Where it is Ben Lacey. Yeah. Eric, what do you think of this battle?
Yeah, it's a really good close battle. I think they're really giving each other enough room and a lot of respect going on between these two title contenders. At the moment they're on the top of the championship standing, so there's a lot of points in the there's a lot of points on the table here.
See Ben just getting past Ollie there. Ollie looked a bit ragged and a bit under pressure. Do you reckon he was feeling it, or do you reckon it was just one of them lapse of concentration?
I think it looked like his tyres were off to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll put that down to tyres. So.
Ben qualifies on primes, doesn't he, and finishes on options. So I didn't see what tyres Ben was on.
No, I didn't quite catch that either, to be honest.
Good move nonetheless.
Yeah, it was clean as well, and it was good for they both finished the race, which is the main thing.
Yeah, the classic cutback.
That's it.
Yeah. So on to championship standings now. Paul.
Okay, so Ollie's still leading the pack there on 222 points. Not bad from Hungary, scoring at 15 there. Andrew scoring maximum points. He's on 181. So there's a bit of a gap now between him and Ben. It's a little bit of a safe cushion. Ben's on 160. He scored 18 points in the race, but then the gap gets wider. So Jay there in fourth on 108. He scored 12 points at Hungary, and because Aaron didn't get a do not finish. As well, Aaron was off the pace, I think, for the whole session. So he's on 84. That probably would have been a little bit closer if Aaron was able to keep on the track. And then again, it gets wider again, down to 67 points with Adamos there, and then Joe in 7th on 60, and then Sam Brown on 8th with 31 points. Thomas Helmer 26. Now if we had another lap in that race, I'd be above Thomas there in the standings, because I was catching him up like you wouldn't believe. And even he said as well, if there was another lap, I would have got 9th. I was like doing him like a second and a half at the end of the race there. And then there's me in 25th. Jonathan 22 points. 11th.
Yeah, I believe you're 10th, not 25th.
Yeah, so considering you're not being in all the races, points, you're doing okay.
Yeah, somehow I'm still 11th.
And then Thomas Glass there in 17. So it's all pretty close with the back markers, really. There's not a lot to separate us. I'd want to push up into 8th. That's where I'm seeing myself.
Yeah, from Sam Brown down to about Mantes.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the new guys as well. Patrick, Rob, Cheer, even though he's a reserve, he's a quick driver. Ross is not really, doesn't turn up too much, but when he does, he's normally towards the back end of the points. But I think
Rob's
from probably Sam down to, he
showed a bit of pace.
I think from Sam downwards, it could be anyone's.
Yeah, I agree, but I've got my eye on that 8th spot, so watch out, Sam.
Yeah. So next round we are at Spa, round 12. So we're going to have a hot lap. So Eric, do you want to take us through this hot lap?
Yep. So we are coming through the bus stop chicane to start the lap of Spa-Francorchamps in the Lotus Renault. So I don't know if we're on board with Kimi or Grosjean, but hopefully it's Kimi. Okay, braking just under the after the 100-meter board. The really important turn, actually, turn 1. People underestimate this sometimes, but there's a huge straight coming up. Of course, the famous corner Eau Rouge coming up now, and that's just a flat-out corner. So it's, if you count this in, it's just an enormous straight, and you can gain a lot of time if you just get turn 1 right there. Also, an overtaking opportunity in the race here, the best overtaking opportunity here because of the DRS zone. Breaking down here for Lacombe. Nice section, I love this section. Bring the car to the left to have a good rundown in the right corner, and now braking for the hairpin. It's important to be patient here and just hug the inside. Bring the car to the right before taking the left corner. Just lift off and be on the throttle early again as we are on the rundown to Puha now. And flick it down 1 gear if you want. You can go take this in 5th gear, but you need a lot of confidence to take this corner, be on the throttle early again, and bring it to the left here for this sweeping section, right and then left. Clip the curbs, hit all the apexes, and bring the car to the left for this pretty tricky corner. Actually, if you get it wrong, then you will end up in the gravel most likely. So you can lose a lot of time there, and just flat out here through these final corners, and Blanchimont is a really high-speed corner, just flat out. In qualifying you can take this with DRS wide open. And another overtaking spot here if people don't defend, or you can go and try around the outside at the bus-stop chicane here, and that is completing a lap of Spa-Francorchamps.
Very nice.
Well done.
So, what are your predictions, guys, for F1 and GP2?
Well, for F1, I think Dan is usually strong here. He won the race here last season, so he should be up there. I think the Sauber team, of course, going to be challenging for the win as well with Musa, in the new teammate of Dimi. So they will be up there, and well, I have a pretty good record at Spa. Well, not really the first season. I believe I just got disqualified because of running in the safety car. The safety car was just going really slow on the top of Eau Rouge in the intermediate conditions, so there was a tricky bit of situation. But last season I had a really good race here for 3rd. So, and this is my favorite track on the calendar, so I hope to be competitive. And there are just a lot of, you've seen how close it is in Hungary, and in the past few races the midfield is just so close, so anyone who has a bit of luck can get up there. And of course with the weather at Spa, it's also it can be a lottery,
Yeah, weather is always a key factor at Spa. I mean,
Oh, it is, yeah.
even if it says like 2% chance of rain, that 2% probably will happen.
Yeah, and when it rains it will pour.
Yeah.
It's usually a lot of rain, so yeah, I just think the Sauber and the Sauber team and Dan are favorites, and the midfield is just so close. I cannot predict who is going to be taking those other positions at the front, but yeah, we will have to see.
Yeah, Paul?
I think it's again. I think the same guys are going to be up there. Andrew, Ollie, Jort, Aaron possibly, Jay. So I think it's going to be close. I mean, from my personal perspective, I think again it's between 8th and 10th for me. I think I at least want to score a point. It's still my first season. I'm still early days. And I think I've shown if I put more practice in, I can get quicker. But for me, it's not necessarily being the fastest. I am quite consistent. I like to be consistent. And if I can be consistent with my lap times, then maybe I've got a chance to push that little bit higher. But yeah, I think it will be. It's a challenging track for me. Like Eric said on the hot lap there, it's the tight right onto the little back straight before the long back straight at the back there. I find that part particularly difficult. You're right, if you get it wrong, you take too much speed, you're off to the left into the gravel, but if you go too slow, then you lose a lot of time. So it's a hard corner. The middle section for me is what I enjoy. It's quite challenging track. I like these old tracks. They're challenging and it sweeps quite nicely. What about yourself, Jonathan?
Well, I For F1, I basically agree with you both for F1 and GP2. I mean, there's always a chance of surprise, like if the weather catches anyone out. I mean, Toro Rosso have been there quite a lot towards like midfield points, I suppose, and towards the front. And in GP2, I'd like to see Jort do quite well as it's his home race.
Yeah, that's right, it is.
But yeah, we'll see what will be, I suppose.
Anything can happen, can't it? I mean, as you say, it all depends what instants happen and how the weather plays out.
Yeah, I mean, last year for GP2 anyway, it was dry the whole race, which suited me quite well. I got my best result of the season and my first ever fastest lap at Spa. So it was a bit annoying that I can't race at Spa this time, but yeah, hey ho.
Hey ho.
I think, is that it?
I think it kind of brings it to a close, doesn't it?
Yeah, so thanks very much. Well done to Paul for soldiering through with a near-death illness.
Well, it's given me the time to do it, hasn't it, really? So it has its pluses to being a little bit unwell. So I've sat here in my sick bed editing a video. So keeps me busy. What can I say?
Yeah, well done, though.
Thank you.
And also thank you to Eric for joining us.
Yep, it was a pleasure to be here, and I hope to be joining you guys soon again.
Yep, so yeah, that's basically it. So we'll hopefully get the Spa video out ASAP. Depends on when we do it, obviously. But thanks very much anyway, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.